My name is Phil Corbett, and I make a podcast called The Wind at this handmade desk in the Sierra Nevada. It is normally an audio podcast, so if you dig this video, make sure to subscribe on Apple or Spotify or wherever you listen. In this video, we're going to be learning how to make a pecan punch. The pecan is the official, unofficial state cocktail of Nevada, and it's got a pretty interesting history to it, so we're going to learn about that, and then I will show you how to make one. All right, here we go.
The Wind. With Phil Corbett.
The Pecan Punch, or simply Picon, is a Basque American cocktail that was invented in the late 1800s in San Francisco, California. From there, it spread inland, following the paths of Basque immigration to Arizona, Oregon, Idaho, Utah, and Nevada. In the early 20th century, immigration from the Basque Country in between Spain and France began to ramp up, and many of these immigrants moved to the Central Valley and Great Basin, taking jobs as sheep herders. They'd often be stationed in remote mountain ranges with a flock of sheep. There, they'd stay near grass and water, which often meant mountain creeks lined with aspen trees. Today, you can still see the names that they carved into the white bark of the aspen, creating a sort of message board for lonely shepherds. These are called Arborglyphs. Here's one from 1933. One from 1960. 1959. And one from Jesus Arriaga, 1966. Many of these shepherds would leave the mountains and stay in town at Basque hotels. These hotels were de facto cultural gathering places, with bars and restaurants serving big meals to a community of hungry workers. Those Basque hotels, though they usually don't offer rooms anymore, are still around. They dot the American West, and especially northern Nevada, and a specialty that they all share is the pecan punch, which is what we're going to learn to make. So we're going to go over the ingredients real quick, and then I will explain in more detail why we use which ingredients while showing you how to make it. So first, you're going to need the Torani Amer. This is the main ingredient. Then you're going to need brandy. Ideally, this is the cheapest brandy you can find. So Christian Brothers or E&J, pretty much whatever is on the bottom shelf of your local liquor store or even gas station. You want the cheapest you can find. Then club soda. This can be in a bottle. You can make it at home with one of those carbonator kind of things. Then Grenadine. This is just regular old Grenadine. I just put it in this bottle for transportation. And then a lemon. You're just going to be using the rind, but you will want a fresh lemon. Finally, you're going to want bar ice. So, how to make a pecan. The first thing you're going to have to decide is which glass to use. So this is the traditional pecan glass. It's got a stem and a bell. This is the glass that you're going to find in most of the Basque restaurants around northern Nevada. There is also this glass that they use at the JT in Gardnerville, Nevada. It is a small cup, roughly the same size. You want to make sure you're not using something too big or too small. Today we're going to use this glass because it is the traditional pecan glass. So the first ingredient, I guess, is ice. Similar to the glass, you don't want to use something too big, like the regular ice cubes from your freezer. You also don't want to use something too small, like crushed ice. You're going to want something right in the middle, like bar ice. So, gonna fill the glass up with some small bar ice. All right, next, the grenadine. Now, you're just going to want to use like 2 to 3 drops of grenadine, maybe 3 to 4, but you don't want to go over that. That'll do. Just enough to kind of coat the ice. So the main ingredient is Torani Amer. Amer, I believe, is French for Amaro, so it is this bitter, sweet aperitif kind of thing. Now, it is important that you do not measure a pecan punch. That is basically what makes it so special, is that every one you have is going to be different, depending on who makes it, depending on where you're getting it, depending on how you make it. It is always going to be different because you make it with your eye, not with traditional bartending implements. So, with the Torani Amer, you're going to fill the glass up about 2/3 of the way. A lot of people say like right to where the bell starts to kind of taper off here. Right there. Up next is the club soda, which I put in this bottle just for transportation. You're just going to want to put a splash. That'll do. And now that we have the grenadine, the Amer, and the club soda mixed with ice, we are going to stir it. Some places really stir it like a lot, like just go crazy stirring it. I like to stir it a bit, but I don't go too far. Kind of just want to get that grenadine off the bottom. All right, so now we're going to do a brandy float. Like I said, this is the cheap brandy. If you try to use like cognac or fancy brandy, it just won't taste right. You kind of want that first sip to burn a bit. So that's why you go with the cheap brandy. Like I said, I think this is Christian Brothers or E&J. Just a float on top. Now you are going to do a lemon twist. That, of course, is just the rind. You don't want any of the lemon fruit in there. So you're going to hold it like this. You're going to squeeze it in half. You put it around the rim. And that is a pecan punch. Cheers. Thank you for being here. Really glad to share this drink with you. This is my favorite drink, and it's just a really special cocktail because, like I mentioned, no matter where you get it, it's gonna taste different. Whether you get it at the JT, my favorite spot in Gardnerville, Nevada, the Heyday in Wellington, if you get it at Louis in Reno, or the Martin in Winnemucca, the Star, Tokiona in Elko, the Basque Center in Boise, whether you get it in Fresno or Bakersfield, wherever you get this drink, it's going to taste a little bit different because everybody has learned to make it a different way, and you're drinking it in a different place. And this is a cocktail that is very tied to a sense of place. So, hope you enjoy making it. If you have a favorite place to get one, definitely leave a comment below. I've tried a bunch of them, but not all of them. And I would love to hear where your favorites are. I think that'll do us for today. Thank you for joining us. And if you would like to find me, head over to thewind.org. Cheers. Agur.